Now, security is the biggest concerns for any CIO. Given the brash of security breaches that have happened in the recent past, high-profile ones, I wouldn't name them here, but pretty high-profile ones, and they have serious implications. Implications around your reputation, implications around multi-million-dollar lawsuits, implications around lack of customer loyalty, implications about customers terminating your contracts. It also results into downtime till the servers are brought back again. So security is by and large the topmost concern. The next trend that really defines or the next biggest trend that defines the buying patterns for CIOs is efficiency. Efficiency at all levels. Now, efficiency becomes extremely critical because 79% of what the CIO spends today gets spent on running the data center. It is maintaining the data center power and cooling. The third is around reliability. Server outages are a strict no-no. It's an absolute no. Aberdeen survey talks about a day of downtime can cost, on average, a large enterprise $16.5 million. So it's enormous amount of money. It's something that your core business runs on, and any outage can mean you being out of business for that period. And that could mean you actually getting out of business with certain set of clients. So reliability is definitely one of the topmost key parameters that the CIO looks at. The fourth is an element which is very critical in today's dynamic world. It is speed and agility. Now, in a scenario where market trends are changing very rapidly, it is changing at a pace which is far more rapid than what the IT team can really catch up to, which is where speed and agility becomes extremely important. From a security perspective, we are not be all end all, but we are a player in the security space. So, for example, the latest M5 servers that we've launched comes with self-encryption drives that lets you encrypt the data, and any physical theft of the drive, no data can be stolen. So that's a physical level security component that's getting introduced. While you have security components that everybody keeps thinking about, which is around the firewall, about an external hacker getting in, what's important as well is to ensure that nobody internal to the organization plays truant. So that's on the security front. On the efficiency front, there are multiple elements of efficiency that play. It is efficiency around components. So we talk about server power supplies that come with 96%. It comes with a titanium power supply that's with 96% efficiency. Now, this is significantly better than what the last generation was. And this builds up a cascading effect in terms of the overall data center efficiency, because you have hundreds of such individual servers that build up the data center. So that has a real cascading effect. The efficiency then boils down to even the cooling that you provide internally to the server. The technology that's evolved in the System X portfolio is a dual zone cooling, which lets you cool each zone depending on the thermal conditions within that zone. And you have variable speed fans, redundant fans within each zone, which ensure the temperature is kept optimal. On reliability, we've always been amongst the torchbearers on reliability. As IBM System X, we've consistently been number one on the customer satisfaction survey by TBR for many quarters now. In fact, the last quarter that has gone by, we continue to be number one on customer satisfaction. Also, in terms of reliability, ITIR is one of the leading third-party consultants who does surveys around reliability. And on x86 servers, System X continues to be the number one player in that space. So this is our contribution on the reliability front. On the last element, which is the speed and agility, our contribution there comes around the first step that goes into speed and agility is performance. We've gotten servers that take the next leap in terms of performance, almost 131% performance increase over our last generation servers. So that gives you that speed and agility. You have these servers which today a typical two-socket server will scale up to 1.5 terabytes of memory. So in a data center where you want massive levels of consolidation, you can really have close to 50 to 70 VMs that fit in within a single two-socket entry-level server. So that's the level of consolidation we're talking about. On the speed and agility front, what also matters is your ability to pay as you grow. So we've taken an approach which is a modular pay as you grow growth, wherein you start adding components. You can move from a two-way to a four-way to a six-way to an eight-way, and you actually start investing as your business grows. So, in October 2014, Lenovo and VMware announced a strategy of jointly collaborating towards building software-defined data centers. What it really means is basically extending what we do on the compute side with virtualization, extending it onto the network side, extending it onto the storage side. So it's about building a complete software-defined environment within the data center. Looking at, let me briefly touch upon software-defined networking. The typical networking approach is you have a pre-configured path, you have an entire network infrastructure, and every communication goes through a pre-configured path. Now, what that means is within the infra there may be enough and more bandwidth available, but the pre-configured path is what is getting choked. Now, what a software-defined networking would do is pull out the intelligence out of the switches and bring it on the top on a software layer, which then defines the path it needs to take. It will take a path which is the path of the least resistance. It creates an environment where you are able to utilize your network infrastructure in an optimal way. Now the same holds true from a storage perspective. You are now using multiple x86 servers that you define with software. You create a virtualization within the storage boxes, so that there are multiple of these physical servers that can be looked upon as a single volume, and your ability to utilize them as you need them is plain and simple. So these are elements that really create the agility, the speed, the ability to churn out infrastructure the way you need it. It also gives you the ability to handle spikes. Your ability to, so for example, your typical spike happens during a month end or a quarter end, where the last 4 days is 60% of the capacity required. Now you have an ability on the fly to move resources onto the billing application to be able to take care of that. While it is early days for us to really see large mission critical installs around these software-defined data center, but we have multiple customers who are today at a pilot stage and will see this as a mainstay in the years to come. In the IBM days, while we had great technology, our ability to partner with a lot of these software vendors, ISVs, was limited because we were looked upon as competition. Now, our ability to partner and drive a far more effective engagement on the ground is much better, and which is where you see some of these engagements going forward, be it on the software-defined data center or be it on the cloud. We are much deeper engaged with the VMwares of the world. So one of the fundamental trends that are coming in is like I mentioned earlier, the CIO is facing reducing budgets, and today he is going through a scenario where almost 79% of his budget gets into running the data center. Now the whole paradigm is about how do I optimize on that, and how do I start investing into new technologies that give me the agility and speed to go address the business requirements. So everything that's happening around these trends revolves around this basic parameters. So some of the elements that are changing this thing is within the same energy envelope. How do I drive a lot more performance? How do I drive a lot more? So today, if I have a 600 square feet data center catering to a certain performance requirement, it's going to be that same 600 square feet that's going to cater to a lot more. So I need to now look at how do I get that performance within the same energy envelope. How do I get that cooling efficiency built in? How do I get the required power requirements? So those are elements that play a critical role. Yes, cloud is great when it comes to the peripheral applications. Cloud is brilliant when it comes to smaller SMB businesses. But when it comes to core large enterprises, the approach that most enterprises have been taking is around private cloud or a hybrid cloud. From a Lenovo perspective, we play a big role as an infrastructure player in the private cloud and the hybrid cloud space. We work very closely with partners like IBM, VMware, Microsoft, and also some of the open source vendors in the cloud space. We provide deep level of integration with each of these on the ground. So channels has been core to our business, core to our strategy always. From a Lenovo perspective, at a worldwide level, almost 87% of their business has been through channels. From our perspective, EBG in India has been a similar story. Almost 89% of our business comes through channels. And if I look at the year that went by, we would have close to 1,500 partners with whom we do business. So it's been a strong breadth as well as a strong depth with a very strong share of wallet with a top few set of partners. So our channel strategy is in fact has been building from pillar to pillar. They have been an integral part of our growth as we've grown. If I go back the last 5 years, we've more than doubled our revenue over the last 5 years, and practically that entire growth has come from our channel breadth.